welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and thank you for joining me for another video here on the channel. Today is of course our best day of the week where we talk about the 10 hottest comics of the week and we break them down like I always do. But before we get started in the video, like always, I want to remind you guys, once we get to 6,000 subs, I'm giving away an awesome statue. Check it out. So for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway, I've decided to give away this awesome Hulk vs. Wolverine maquette, measured in about 1/10 scale, and of course features the incredible cover from Incredible Hulk number 181. So if you're a sub, when we get to 6,000, you have a chance to win this awesome statue. But that's not it. If you are a member of the channel, you're going to have a members only giveaway, and we're giving away this awesome custom original art Spider-Man swinging through New York City. So if you're not a member of the channel and are interested, you have a chance to win that thing. With that said, I also want you to smash that like button for me because it does help the channel. And of course, comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think of some of these books like I always do. With that said, let's get into this week's list. Starting off the list and at number 10 this week is a copy of Gambit number 1, the gold foiled embossed edition. I can't believe this book is on this list. And a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for an insane $1,000, up 15% over the average. I am shocked. I can't believe it that someone actually would spend $1,000 on this book. I know it's a lot rarer than the regular cover for this book, but either way, how far will $1,000 go in comic book collecting? I wouldn't put that kind of money towards a book like this, but let me know in the comments what you think. Coming in at the 9th spot this week is a copy of Captain America number 110 and the first appearance of Madam Hydra, who later becomes Viper. Of course, this is a classic Steranko cover, and a CGC 9.0 just sold the prior week for $510, up 9% over that average. Then we had a CGC 7.0 sell for $195, up 17% over the average. Then we had a mid-grade CGC 4.5 sell for $139, up a crazy 24% over the average. This is one of my favorite Steranko covers that he's ever done. A great Captain America issue, but to me, the prices that this book is going for right now is a bit too high for me. If I could pay around $100 or less, that's what I'd be doing. Other than that, I think it's too much money to spend on this book. Falling to the 8th spot this week is a copy of House of Secrets number 92 and the first appearance of the original Swamp Thing, Alex Olsen, a massive Bronze Age key. And a CGC 8.0 just sold last week for a whopping $3,360, up 4% over that average. Then we had a CGC 6.5 sale for $1,850, up 3% over the average. Then we had a lowly CGC 3.5 sell under $1,000 for $868, up 8% over the average. This is one of the Bronze Age keys that I always be buying. I absolutely love this book, a great DC first appearance. It's always a buy for me no matter what. I definitely want to own it. Speaking of comics I always want to buy, at the 7th spot this week is a copy of Iron Man number 1 and the first appearance of Iron Man in his ongoing title series, and a CGC 8.0, a very fine copy of this book just sold for $2,800, up 4% over the average. Then we had a CGC 4.5 sale of $500, up only 1% over the average. Every time I see this book on the list, it makes my heart swell. You guys know I love this book. Iron Man number 1 is a book I always looking to buy no matter what, and especially in mid-grade, a Silver Age book, it's still rather cheap. Not an investment book in my opinion, but an awesome key I always want to own. Coming in at number 6 this week is a new book to this list. It is a copy of Doctor Strange number 169 and the first solo title Doctor Strange issue, formerly titled Strange Tales. Man, that is a mouthful. And a CGC 8.5 just sold last week for $835, up 18% over the average. Then we had a CGC 5.5 sale for only $265, up 4% over the average. I always talk about this book when I say it's so much better of a cover than Strange Tales 110. It is still rather affordable. I can't believe under a 9.0 is still under $1,000. I'm definitely a buyer of this book. One of the better Doctor Strange books out there. The only issue I have with it is there are a lot of copies out there. There were so many for sale at one point. It really hurt the price, but I'm happy to see this book going higher. Falling to number 5 this week, but still on the list, is a copy of Uncanny X-Men number 101 and the debut of the Phoenix in Jean Grey's new powers, and a CGC 9.2 just sold last week for $878, up only 1% over the average. Then we had a CGC 8.5 sale of $719, up 17% over the average. Then we had a CGC 7.5 sell for $505, up 5% over the average. I told you guys last week, I'm definitely a buyer of this book if I'm an X-Men collector. If I am not, and I'm not a huge X-Men fan, I'd probably be staying away. A lot of the Bronze Age books, in my opinion, may come down. You never know. There are a lot of copies out there of this book, but again, if you are an X-Men fan, this is a must-own book. I'm giving it my blessing only if you're a super crazy X-Men fan. At number 4 this week, and still on this list, is a copy of New Mutants 98 and the first appearance of Deadpool, a subject of the Weapon X program. I gotta tell you, this book has been on the list for probably about 365 days, the whole entire year.
Really?
Regardless, we had a CGC 9.8 sell last week for $1,800, up 18% over the average.
I'm touching myself tonight.
I told you guys this, I'm waiting for this book to come down under $1,500. I have seen some listings for around $1,500 on IG, so if you're looking to buy this book, you guys know I always say only in a 9.8 or I'd be staying away, because there are so many copies of this one out there. If you're a huge Deadpool fan, wait for it to go under $1,500, then I'm a buyer. At the 3 spot this week is a copy of Ultimate Fallout number 4 and the first appearance of Miles Morales. And we had a CGC 9.6 that just sold last week for $700, up 1% over the average. How the hell is this book at the freaking 3 spot? We had a 9.6 for up 1% over the average. It makes no sense. I tell you guys all the time, I'm only looking to buy modern books in a 9.8. I love the 9.8 version of this book. I'm waiting for it to come also to around $1,500 or less, maybe a little bit less, because there's still a lot of these copies out there for sale. Regardless, it's a must-own book for the next 20 to 30 years. If you're a Miles fan like I am, definitely want to add it. I'm just waiting a little bit longer for this book to dip a little bit more. Coming in at number 2 and still on this freaking list, we have to get rid of this book. It is a copy of Wolverine number 1 and the first appearance of Yukio, and an iconic cover by the great Frank Miller. I still can't believe this book has been on the list for the better part of 3 years. It is absolutely insane, and we had a CGC 9.8 sell last week for $698, up 2% over the average. Then we had a CGC 9.6 sale for only $285, up 6% over the average. I told you guys, it's a must-own book just to have in your collection, but I'm not spending anywhere near this book is going for right now to own it. Again, get your copy for $100 or around that price just to own it. Other than that, I'd definitely be staying away. It is not worth what it's going for right now. Take that to the bank. And at the top spot this week for the 3rd week in a row, it is a copy of Uncanny X-Men number 130 and the first appearance of the Dazzler. Somebody finally told me last week why this book is so hot. There's a rumor out there that Taylor Swift is going to be taking on the role of the Dazzler in an upcoming movie. I highly doubt that's going to happen. At least that's the rumor. Regardless, we had a CGC 9.6 sell last week for only $463, up 13% over the average. We also had a CGC 9.0 sale for $260, up an insane 40% over the average. Do not buy the hype. If you want to own this book, it's around a $100 book and a very fine range or so, around that price. Other than that, I'd definitely be staying away from this one. If you can pick it up for cheap, go ahead. If not, you guys know what I say, I'm staying away. That's it for the list this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Some new books finally on the list. I love Doctor Strange number 169. I actually like that Steranko book as well. But other than that, I always stick to true first appearances or classic covers. And to me, my best buy of the week is none other than House of Secrets number 92 and the first appearance of the Swamp Thing. Every time I see this book for sale, I'm always checking the price on it to see if I can get it for a deal. That's my best buy of the week. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.